Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live candle making session. My name is Natasha, and I'm going to walk you through how to make your very own candle in the comfort of your own home. All right, so we have everything that we need today, and this is really an opportunity for you to ignite a new passion, new hobby. If you already have an existing passion for candles, this is just a chance for you to practice it more. And yeah, let's get started. So we have everything we need today. We're going to be using a double boiler method, all right? So first things first, we're going to start with our wicks. So we're using a rope candle wick today. As you can see here, it has a little metal clasp at the bottom. So we're going to use these little stickers here to basically stick that at the base of the jar. So I have an example here. We've already stuck the wick on to the base of the jar using the sticker. So we're using two wicks for this candle. Basically, that is because of the diameter of the candle jar itself. We use two wicks in order to boost the scent and to allow the candle to burn all the way down to its full capacity, all right? So here we have the sticker. Let's just remove the protective layer. Okay, we stick it at the bottom of this metal clasp. And we are going to stick it to the base of the candle. So it should look something like this. You want to make sure there is enough space between both candles, all right? And if you have this little handy tool to keep the wicks apart from each other, it's really useful as well. Just before we pour the wax in, just to get the wicks to settle in place. And keep them upright as well. Okay, very good. Now we're going to go into our wax, all right? So today we're using soy wax. We're going to pour 150 grams of wax into our melting pot. So I really like this melting pot. It has this little clasp here, which you can hook onto your boiler, which is great. So you don't have to be holding over it the whole time while the wax is melting. So we're going to measure 150 grams. So just get your weighing scale. All right, let's calibrate it. And you should have 150 grams of wax in here. That's just nice. Very good. And now we're going to place this melting pot onto our double boiler, all right? So I've already got the water boiling here. We're just going to clasp it on right there. And now we're going to let the wax melt slowly. So if you have a spoon, it's good to just keep it stirring every now and then. It really speeds up the melting process, yeah? Yeah, so this is what the wax looks like if you guys can take a look. There are a couple of bigger chunks in here. So what you can do is you can break it down before putting it in the melting pot with your hands or with a spoon. If not, yeah, it just takes a little longer to melt in the melting pot. So yeah, just give it a good stir. It's already starting to melt. It's pretty fast. This entire candle making process is actually not too long. It should take like a total of 30 minutes, which is good if you're not someone who can spend too much time away from work or your daily activities. So I'm just using the spoon to slightly break up this larger chunk here. It's a little big. And of course, you can always just take it out, use your hands and crush it as well if it's a little too big, yeah? No worries. All right, very good. Give it a good stir. And let's just wait for that to slowly break down and melt. Okay, so basically we're going to let it melt all the way down, wait for all the bigger chunks to break down as well, and we're going to wait for the wax to reach 79.5 degrees Celsius, all right? So if you have a thermometer, that would be good to measure the temperature as well. So yes, we're using soy wax. So soy wax is actually vegan friendly. It's non-toxic and it also promotes clearer burning. So this means it really contains no chemicals, no toxins. So basically, it doesn't trigger allergies like other candles might. So yeah, that's a bonus of soy wax. All right, it's melting pretty fast. Just keep stirring. Yeah, so this is actually honestly a very, very satisfying process. If you're feeling stressed, anxious, this really helps tons. All right. One second, guys. Sorry about that. Just gonna plug this in so you guys can hear me a little better. All right. Can everyone hear me? All good? All right. So yes, we're waiting for our wax to slowly melt down. So today the scent that we're going to be using is eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is really great. There's so many benefits. So benefits include it actually helps with relieving cold symptoms, and surprisingly, it's a natural insect repellent, which is a fun fact that I'm sure most of you didn't know. But yeah, so burning it at home uh, gets rid of all the mosquitoes and other insects. Okay, now we're just waiting for the larger tongues to slowly break down. You can just use your spoon to press it down gently. All right, so what makes a candle unique? There are many different factors of a candle that can make it different in its own way. So basically, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, but there's this thing called chakra candles. So it's essentially healing candles. It promotes healing in many different ways. So depends on the properties of the candle. So burning candles in general helps to fight off stress, anxiety. Um, it has many different calming properties. So this could be the just staring at the flame itself, or it could be the color or the scent of the flame. I mean of the candle. So for example, we have different chakras in the body. We have 7 chakras in the body, and they all aid in different ways. So, example, the root chakra is to help us feel more grounded, feel comfort, safety. So, this is when we can use red coloring for our candles to promote that feeling. And also, an essential oil that we can use would be red currant. Another chakra would be the heart chakra, located at the center of the chest. It helps with self love, compassion. So, colors include green color, and the scents would be sandalwood or bergamot. Sorry, it's just a little smoky here. So we've got the water boiling right now. Just waiting for the bigger chunks to slowly break down. Yeah, so really up to you what kind of effects you want your candle to have. If you're feeling really, you suffer from insomnia, you're unable to sleep, you can try adding lavender scent. It's completely up to you. There's so many essential oils with so many different properties. Okay. It's pretty satisfying. So it has this really nice golden like oil texture right now and color. Not sure if you guys can see it. Yeah. So it should be just like this. Have this oil consistency. Almost there. Probably can wait for another minute or two. Yeah, in terms of the wick, guys, usually for the rope wick, um, what we want to do is actually trim it only once we have poured the wax in and it has set. So you don't want to trim it at the start because it might pour over the actual wick and the actual rope and cause it to bend. So we pour it first, and then later, once the candle has set, we cut the wick off. Hmm. Hope everyone's doing all right so far. Almost there. Let's give it a good stir. Oops. And nice. So now we're just gonna measure take the temperature of our wax. So it has to hit a total of 79.5 degrees Celsius before we remove the melting pot of the double boiler, all right? So you can use your thermometer. Make sure it's in degrees Celsius and not Fahrenheit. So let's just calibrate it. All right. And we just place the sharp pointy bit into the wax. So remember, 79.5 degrees Celsius. We're at 50 right now. $65. Almost there. Yeah, so the one thing I really like about this whole process is I find it very therapeutic. Like if you're having a long, stressful day, it's so nice to just shift your focus onto something else. And it's also very satisfying to watch like the wax slowly melt and then pouring in the essential oil. Very therapeutic. All right, we're at 79 degrees, which I think is good enough. So give and take, okay, guys? Remove the melting pot. You can grab a cloth or a tissue, up to you. Keep your countertop clean. I'm going to remove the wax. Very good. Okay, now we're just going to let it cool down slowly. We're going to wait until our wax has reached 74 degrees Celsius before we pour in our fragrance oil, and we're going to gently stir it in, all right? So like I said, today the fragrance we're using is eucalyptus, which is really good to relieve any cold symptoms as a natural insect repellent, and also helps promote relaxation and reduces pain, all right? So let's just wait for the wax to cool down. During this cooling process, I really do not recommend putting the wax in a fridge or a cooler, because it will really affect the way the candle sets later on. So let it cool down naturally, all right? Okay, let's take its temperature, 74 degrees Celsius, all right? Yeah, it's better for us to wait for the wax to slowly cool down, as we want the essential oil to really absorb in and bind together with the oil. When we pour the essential oil in the wax while it's melting, it really doesn't allow the fragrance oil to set in properly. So you won't have a very strong smelling candle, all right? So this is the reason for that. So 74 degrees, almost there. We're at 70 right now. Yeah, it's better to be precise when candle making. You want to follow the steps pretty straight on, just because you want it to set nicely and you want it to smell good as well and burn nicely as well. Okay, very good. We are at 73.8, which I think is good enough. Okay, so now time for the fragrance oil, eucalyptus. All right, so we're going to pour in 15 ml. This will give your candle a nice strong scent. Okay, so you can either pour it in by drops, or if this is a very long process, I like to also just open the container, and you can pour it in small batches, not all at once, and then stir it gently for 2 minutes. So just pour it in slowly. Yeah, the smell is really strong, so I can smell it already, and it smells really, really good. So just stirring it in gently. Another thing that's super satisfying about this is once you actually pour the fragrance oil in, it kind of looks like liquid gold, which is really pretty. You guys gotta try it to see it. Yeah, it's very nice. Smells amazing. Just keep stirring. Last batch. All right, let's just stir this in for about a minute. Also very soothing to look at. And yeah, just the smell of eucalyptus. I don't know what it is about it, but it really, really calms you down in the moment. So feeling very relaxed right now. All right. Yeah, so stirring it in also will help the wax to cool down a bit. So we're going to wait until the wax hits 63 degrees Celsius, and then we're going to pour it into our glass jar, which is this white candle jar here. You want to make sure you don't pour it in too hot because it is glass and we don't want any cracking or breaking of the jar itself. So yeah, better to stick to 63 degrees Celsius. Okay, let's measure the temperature, make sure it's in Celsius. So remember 63 degrees Celsius, and then we can pour it into our jar. So I'm just going to remove this. See, our wicks are nicely set up there. This is very long, so if you want to pre-trim it just a little bit so it's not sticking out so much, you can. But in terms of cutting it later for burning, I would recommend doing it after the candle has already set. So when you're trimming the wick, you should trim it before every burn. Every time before you're burning the candle, you should trim the wick. And this will set it for a clearer and smoother burn. It will also help to prevent any like soot, which means like any black residue. So you should cut off 1/4 of an inch of the wick every time before you burn it. Perfect, 62.5. Yeah, so the stirring actually helps to cool it down. All right, let's pour it into our jar. So our wicks are nicely set up there. And we are going to pour it in. I don't know if you guys can see it. Very good. Now let's just hold the wicks in place as well. Very good. So you want to make sure to keep some space, all right, in between the wicks so they don't burn too closely. And yeah, like I said, I really like this little tool we have here because it helps to hold your wicks in place while the candle is setting. So if you are already into candle making, I really recommend you get this, yeah? So yeah, you want to leave some space, okay? At least like an inch or so from the brim of the candle to where your wax goes off, all right? And yeah, now we're just going to let that set. So we're going to leave this candle at room temperature. So nowhere too cold, nowhere too hot for at least 3 days to allow it to fully cool and harden. So you really want to avoid moving around the jar too much as it will affect the cooling and setting process. And I would highly recommend waiting at least 1 week before you burn the candle to allow the fragrance and the wax to really bind together. So you're going to have a really smooth, nice smelling candle. All right, guys? And yeah, so now that we're done with that, we're going to let it set. I will give you guys a look at our homemaking kit. All right. So here is our kit. It is really, really great. This is what it looks like. So we have this little very nice sleek white box with a magnetic latch as well. So after you're done using the kit, you can use this box for so many other products, so many other items that you have at home. So it's a very handy box. It comes along with a checklist and an instruction guide at the back. So step by step, I know it's really hard to follow along with these videos when you don't have the kit present with you. But you will have the step-by-step guide, and we also do provide a course where you can do it along with me, which makes it a lot more fun and interactive. So you're not alone at home just boiling the wax. You have someone to talk to as well. So here it is. Okay, and we provide our candle jar. So it looks kind of like this. I'm burning a candle right now. This has been burning for like over 2 days now. It's really amazing. So this candle is going to last you quite a while, right? So it's a classic white jar, just like this. It has this little wooden top. So it's actually pretty aesthetically pleasing. Yes, very nice. Okay, we also have a pre-packed, pre-measured 150 grams of soy wax. You can also use beeswax if you want, but like I said, soy wax is the more vegan-friendly option, and it also has no toxins, no chemicals, so you don't have to worry about triggering allergies from the candle. Yeah. And we also provide the melting pot, which I cannot stop raving about. This melting pot is great. Has the clasp as well. Yeah. So we provide you with this. All you probably need at home is just like a pot to boil your water, and you can just place it over it. We provide essential oils and the wick as well, along with the clasp, along with the stickers. So you don't need to worry about looking out for it. You can obviously purchase your own essential oils, but we will update you guys if we end up offering more options for you. The next one is your thermometer. You don't have to run out looking for one. We also provide you with the thermometer. It measures in degrees and Fahrenheit. So it looks just like this. And yeah, that's about it. This is our candle making kit. We will also offer options for color cubes or different essential oils in the future, so do stay tuned. Please like, comment, share this video if you enjoyed today's live session. We will have many more in the future to come, so if you are interested, please do purchase our homemaking kit, and you can also sign up for our candle making live courses. And yeah, the link should be below or in the comments, so do stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a pleasure.